What's going on, guys? It's Henry here, and today I want to talk about Coinbase because today they went IPO, and this is a very big deal for the stock market, but also the cryptocurrency space. And specifically, I have a lot to discuss in this video. So Coinbase was supposed to be directly listed at around $250 per share, but what that really is, it was a reference price, and that reference price was just based on some private trading. But in actuality, Coinbase actually came out at around $380 per share when it started off trading. And we have 10 more minutes of trading. I want to show you guys exactly what's going on with the price action and what I see happening next. All right, so when the coin actually started trading, it went up right away, which is what I suspected would happen. It went up all the way to $424 per share. And what happened here is a lot of investors were hoping that Coinbase could go up to maybe $500 per share, but we saw some weakness. A lot of investors came in, they started selling, so we've seen some pressure coming down in the short-term chart. And essentially, you would think that this stock could hold maybe $350 per share, and that's what I thought the weakness would come to, but it ended up going down lower and lower, and we actually saw a double bottom right here around $312 per share, and then another bottom right here at $310 per share. Now, we do see some consolidation. There's only like 9 more minutes of trading. What I expect to happen is Coinbase will close around $303 per share, but what ends up happening usually, especially with these IPO stocks, is the subsequent days and even couple of weeks, investors are trying to pile in, they're trying to get in for the long term. People think there's a lot of opportunity to be gained by being invested in a stock that is very hyped up. So I can actually see Coinbase still going up higher. I don't know if we're gonna retouch these highs of $424 per share, but I do see some strength in the stock. Now, I do wanna talk about some more fundamentals and technicals about the stock. And specifically, when it comes to fundamentals, this company has a lot of cash flow, and it's the biggest and largest US exchange for Bitcoin. And what I think gives a lot of stability to Coinbase as a stock is it has a first mover advantage. It was one of the first companies to go out there and actually have a platform that works for users, and a lot of users were early in adopting, and they actually had no choice at first, so they went to Coinbase. So their user base is actually very large. Now, what's really going to affect Coinbase and whether they're going to be making a lot of money going forward or if they're not going to be able to hold up their valuation is the fluctuation of the cryptocurrency market itself. Because what you guys have to understand is that Coinbase is just a platform. It's very similar to Airbnb or Uber, where, with Airbnb, they don't actually own the real estate or the apartments that are listed. It's actually people that are buying the apartments and listing it on Airbnb. Airbnb is just a platform. Well, Coinbase is very similar. It's just a platform, and it takes commission every time someone is buying or selling crypto. So when you get in, they charge you 1%. So if you're buying a bunch of Bitcoin, they're gonna charge 1% on your transactions. So when a customer goes out there and they purchase $10,000, well, $100 is going right into Coinbase's pocket. And when you go ahead and sell, let's say Bitcoin went up, it doubled, which it pretty much has in the past few months. If it doubles and you sell for $20,000, now Coinbase takes again a 1% commission, which is $200. So it ends up making $300 total. This is a very, very smart move for a platform because it ends up being a long-term sustainable strategy where investors are getting in, they're getting out. Whether they're losing or they're winning, Coinbase is collecting fees, and that's why Coinbase has so much revenue. And I can expect Coinbase to continue rising in terms of revenue and the stock price as long as the cryptocurrency market continues to rise, or at least it stays stable. Even if we have a cryptocurrency market that just stays stable, all of those transactions, people coming in, buying and selling, that's all revenue for the company. The riskiest thing for Coinbase isn't really volatility, because volatility is okay. What that actually means is a lot of investors are unsure of a cryptocurrency, so they're buying and selling and goes up and down a lot. The actual risk for Coinbase is if these cryptocurrencies end up plummeting and their market caps become very small, because technically when you're taking a percentage of something, you want to take a percentage of something large, a very large pie, and not a smaller pie. So if the cryptocurrency market shrinks, then Coinbase is going to have a tough time getting their commissions because the whole entire market isn't trading as much, and when they are trading, the dollar amounts are lower. However, I do not see cryptocurrency going anywhere at all. I mean, we've already seen big cities like Miami, they're adopting cryptocurrency like crazy, and other cities are also noticing that the future is in crypto, so cities are gonna be adopting cryptocurrency, governments are gonna be adopting cryptocurrency, as the whole population understands that cryptocurrency is a much easier way to transact, and you're not reliant on the government, and you're not gonna get hurt by all the money being printed. Then a lot more of the later and late adopters will come into crypto, and I can see the crypto market continuing to skyrocket because so many people ask, Henry, is this a bubble? Well, I don't actually think it's a bubble. I just think this is a very new growth an innovative trend that's going to be taking place over the next few years. So over the next few years, I can imagine that Coinbase, as it actually has a piece of the pie, has their hands in all the people's pockets that are trying to get rich, or they're just investing for the long term. It doesn't matter what kind of investor a person is, Coinbase is collecting these fees, and that's what makes me bullish about the stock. It's a great way to actually invest in the crypto craze without having to actually buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the other altcoins itself. Now, real quick before I get into timing and momentum, there's a link in the description for Coinbase. You can sign up and get $10 free so you can start using Coinbase. You can see how the app actually works, and you can start investing in other cryptocurrencies yourself. So timing and momentum, both of these things are very, very important. It's impossible, and you guys know this, nobody can tell you exactly when the perfect optimal entry price is. It's all about timing, but timing the market is impossible. Therefore, on this channel, I've said it many times, I've got into Tesla, for example, in late 2019. I was very bullish, I put a lot of money in it, and I got rewarded. Same thing goes for Coinbase, guys. You wanna be smart. You wanna have it up here that you're gonna be investing for the long term, because if you're just trying to make a short-term swing trade, who really knows what's gonna happen? You can make a couple bucks, you can lose a couple bucks, you don't really know, but if you actually ride a trend, and that's when it comes to momentum. Momentum is basically a trend that's going higher. You ride that trend. The trend is your friend. There's a whole saying about that. The trend is your friend. Now, my college textbooks told me there's no such thing as a trend. There is. People are investing in a trend, and you want to get behind that trend because more people actually talk to each other and they tell their friends. It's called a network effect. People tell each other, hey, there's money to be made in this trend. And if you get into that trend earlier than other people, you end up making money because you're early to the game. The early bird gets the worm. People that are coming in later, they're putting in their money at a higher price, and that's what I suspect will happen with the cryptocurrency market, but also with Coinbase stock. Now, of course, I'm not a financial advisor, but if I was a financial advisor, which I studied, I got a finance degree, I worked at Goldman Sachs, I'm pretty much as good as a financial advisor, but I'm just not licensed, and us YouTubers, we don't want to be liable. So do what you want with your money, but if I was your financial advisor, I would say that you want to have 1 to 3% of your money in Coinbase stock, and generally speaking, you want to have 8 to 10% of your money in cryptocurrencies in general, because if you want to grow your wealth properly, you need diversification. Now, you don't want to be invested in bonds because bonds don't pay you nickels. They're just absolutely terrible. Stocks, they're fantastic. Growth stocks are really good, especially Cathie Wood stocks, Tesla, NEO, these stocks that I cover on my channel, fantastic. But you also want to have diversity. You want to be in assets that have potential to appreciate 3, 4, 5x. We've seen that with Ripple. We've seen that with Bitcoin. We've seen a lot of cryptocurrencies really skyrocket. I recently just made a video on Dogecoin. Dogecoin rocketed to 13 cents per coin. I mean, these coins have a lot of potential. And specifically, if you want to build wealth, I really do recommend that you have 1 to 3% maybe in Coinbase if that's a stock that you're looking into. If you're watching this video, obviously you have some interest in Coinbase. I think it's a great investment longer term because they have early movers advantage. However, you don't have to invest in Coinbase. You can just buy Bitcoin and also get paid for Bitcoin by using BlockFi. I have a BlockFi link below. They pay you interest, and you also get up to $250 of free Bitcoin when you invest with BlockFi. Me personally, I only have 5% of my portfolio in cryptocurrencies. However, a majority of my portfolio is in Tesla stock, and Tesla actually has a lot of Bitcoin. So for me, I actually believe that I have more Bitcoin than my portfolio actually shows because of my high concentration in Tesla. So what I really want to discuss, if you're thinking about buying Coinbase stock or you already have Coinbase stock, what is the actual reward? What's the actual return that you're going to get? Well, that's really important in finance. There's risk and there's reward. In terms of risk, the market cap is $65 billion, and they were actually supposed to go out there and be a $100 billion valuation. So at $65 billion, I'm actually intrigued that they came out a little bit lower than expected, and I'm excited to jump into the stock because, at $100 billion, I'm not really sure if they're gonna be valuable enough for me to make a decent amount of money compared to something that I can just invest in, like Bitcoin itself, Ethereum, or Tesla stock. But at $65 billion, I'm very interested because if they were supposed to be at $100 billion and they're currently at $65 billion, then there's room for improvement and the stock can actually go up about 50% because 50% of 65 billion is like $32 billion, 32 plus 65. We have about 97 or the $100 billion valuation that I was just mentioning. So the stock has an opportunity to go up 50%. However, on the downside, the stock can also fall. I don't see the stock going below $40 billion. So for me, that's going to be a 1/3 sell-off or about a 33% loss on the stock's current value. So I can see it going down to maybe $250 per share on that reference price that it was trading at in the private market. But as you guys can tell, the math does make sense to get in because the risk is lower than the reward. The reward is about 50%, where the risk is probably 30% loss. And that 30% loss is unlikely to happen over the longer term because stocks tend to rise. Cryptocurrency market is hot. So if it does fall, but you continue to hold, I don't see anyone losing money if you hold long enough. However, of course, in the short term, 30% loss would hurt a lot. But for me personally speaking, I'm taking a risk on Coinbase because the 50% rise is more important, or better yet, I should say, a better risk to reward ratio for me than some of the other stocks. And I just want to be invested in a trend that I believe in. And I think Coinbase is one of the best trends you can be in right now. So that's it for this video. I just really wanted to go out here and give you guys my thoughts because this is a very hot IPO. And I know a lot of people are either thinking about getting in or they're already in this. So they want some guidance on where the stock can go in the following few days or weeks. And absolutely, this can actually go to $500 per share, especially we have Reddit and the internet getting behind this, or some celebrities going out there and saying that they also purchased Coinbase. We can see the stock absolutely explode, which is why I'm very interested in being in it right now. Don't forget to check out the Coinbase link. You want to sign up either way just to get $10 for free. And you also want to check out the app itself because you want to know what you're investing in and you want to see the app for yourself. That way you can have more conviction and hold the stock long term. And if the stock ends up pulling back, you don't end up panicking. Also, make sure to check out BlockFi. BlockFi is a fantastic place to park your money because you get paid for the amazing cryptocurrencies that you hold, and they pay up to 8.6%. So that's where I have some of my money invested in. And of course, I have Coinbase as well because I want some of the smaller coins like Cardano, XRP, and some of the coins that are not on BlockFi. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.